Deep in the mist of time, a new land emerged. The ice retreated slowly. Tundra gave way to vast green forests. This was the dawn of Britain. Early humans walked these untamed lands. They were simple hunter-gatherers. Life was a constant struggle for survival. They followed the migration of wild beasts. They forged tools from flint and bone. Shelters were made of animal skins and branches. Nature ruled over there every single day. But change was coming to the island. New ideas began to take deep root. The nomadic wanderers started to settle down. Mud villages slowly replaced the temporary camps. We're doing a comprehensive series on the grand history of Britain, covering everything from mud villages to fractured kingdoms. New episodes will drop every single week. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update. As the centuries rolled on, the early inhabitants of Britain began to reshape the very landscape around them. They stopped moving with the seasons and began to cultivate the fertile soil to grow their own crops. With permanent settlements came a profound change in how they viewed the world and the heavens above. They began to construct massive, mysterious earthworks that still dominate the rolling hillsides today. The most spectacular and baffling of these ancient monuments is the legendary stone circle known as Stonehenge. Gigantic sarsen stones were dragged across vast distances from quarries located many miles away. Without the wheel or modern machinery, hundreds of people labored together using sheer human muscle. They raised these colossal pillars in a precise alignment with the movements of the sun and moon. Historians still debate whether it served as a sacred burial ground, a temple, or an astronomical calendar. The true purpose of these silent giants remains locked away in the shadows of the forgotten past. Generation after generation, communities gathered at this sacred site to perform rituals during the solstices. The stones stand as a powerful testament to the ingenuity and spiritual depth of these prehistoric builders. They possessed a deep understanding of engineering that challenges our assumptions about ancient societies. The landscape was transformed from a wild frontier into a place of deep religious and social significance. Stonehenge became the spiritual heart of a rapidly evolving culture that was spreading across the island. As the Bronze Age transitioned into the Iron Age, a vibrant new culture began to dominate the British landscape. These people were the Celts, a collection of fierce tribes bound by shared language, art, and traditions. They brought with them advanced metalworking skills that revolutionized daily life and warfare on the island. Iron tools allowed them to clear denser forests and cultivate larger fields than ever before possible. They built thriving agricultural communities that were organized around complex tribal networks and chiefdoms. Life revolved around the changing seasons, the health of their livestock, and the defense of their territory. The Celts were also masterful artisans who decorated their shields and jewelry with intricate, swirling patterns. Their society was deeply spiritual and guided by a class of mysterious religious leaders known as the Druids. The Druids served as judges, keepers of lore, and intermediaries between the people and their many gods. They performed sacred rituals in ancient open groves and deep within the recesses of secluded river valleys. Despite their shared culture, the Celtic tribes were frequently locked in brutal conflicts with one another. Warfare was a central part of their identity, with warriors constantly seeking glory and plunder in battle. They constructed impressive hill forts on high ground to protect their villages from rival tribal raids. These earthworks featured massive ditches and wooden palisades that could withstand prolonged tribal assaults. Inside the hill forts, bustling communities thrived with workshops, marketplaces, and busy communal roundhouses. If you're enjoying this historical journey so far, please take a quick moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. The typical Celtic home was a sturdy roundhouse constructed from local timber, wattle, and daub. The walls were made of woven hazel branches coated in a thick mixture of mud, straw, and animal dung. A conical roof made of thick thatch kept the torrential British rain out of the living space. A single low doorway served as both the main entrance and a source of natural light for the interior. In the center of the roundhouse, a hearth fire burned constantly to provide vital warmth and light. The smoke from a fire filtered slowly through the thatch roof, keeping the bugs and pests away. Families gathered around the central hearth to cook meals, tell stories, and escape the winter cold. The floor was made of hard-packed earth, often covered in clean straw or soft animal pelts for comfort. Large ceramic pots stood in the corners to store precious grain, water, and fermented beverages. Women spent long hours spinning wool on drop spindles and weaving colorful textiles on upright looms. Men tended to the fields, managed the herds of cattle, and forged iron weapons in smoking furnaces. Children helped with daily chores like gathering firewood, fetching fresh water, and guarding the crops. Diet consisted mainly of coarse bread, thick stews, wild berries, and whatever meat was available. They brewed a potent barley beer that was consumed during great communal feasts and religious festivals. Life was communal, interconnected, and entirely dependent on the cooperation of the entire village tribe. Each Celtic tribe was led by a powerful chieftain or a council of wealthy, influential noble warriors. The chieftain's authority depended heavily on their success in battle and their generosity to loyal followers. They distributed captured cattle and precious goods to secure the political allegiance of lesser warriors. Status within the tribe was visually displayed through fine clothing, ornate torques, and decorated weapons. Gold and bronze neck rings, known as torcs, were symbols of high nobility and immense political power. Beyond warfare, the tribes engaged in extensive trade with neighboring communities and continental Europe. They traded valuable British metals like tin, iron, and lead for luxury goods from distant lands. Foreign merchants brought fine pottery, exotic glass beads, and amber to the bustling coastal ports. Wine from Mediterranean became a highly prized luxury item among the wealthy Celtic elite classes. This trade network gradually introduced new ideas and foreign customs to the traditional island lifestyle. A complex system of laws and oral traditions governed tribal relationships and resolved internal disputes. Bards traveled from village to village, singing epic poems that preserved the history of the tribe's ancestors. These songs kept the memory of great warriors and legendary battles alive for future generations to admire. Despite the constant internal warfare, a distinct British identity was slowly beginning to take shape. The island was no longer a collection of isolated families, but a network of powerful regional kingdoms. By the 1st century BC, the isolated island of Britain could no longer escape the wider world's attention. Across the English Channel, a massive and unstoppable military superpower was expanding its vast borders. The Roman Republic was swallowing up continental Europe, conquering Celtic tribes one by one with ruthless efficiency. Julius Caesar cast his ambitious eyes toward the mysterious, myth-shrouded island across the northern sea. He believed the British Celts were actively aiding their mainland cousins in their rebellion against Rome. In the year 55 BC, Caesar launched a daring military expedition to probe the British coastline. The Roman legions faced fierce resistance from Celtic warriors fighting from swift, terrifying war chariots. The highly disciplined Roman soldiers managed to force a landing on the gravel beaches of Kent. Caesar fought several skirmishes against the local tribes, but did not establish a permanent Roman occupation. He returned the following year with a much larger force, marching deep into the heart of the southeast. He forced several powerful chieftains to pay tribute and promise allegiance to the distant Roman Senate. Although Caesar eventually withdrew his legions, the political isolation of Britain was shattered forever. The British chieftains now had to navigate the complex and dangerous waters of Roman imperial politics. Some tribes embraced Roman trade and culture, while others fiercely maintained their traditional independence. A fragile peace existed between the island kingdoms and the growing shadow of the Roman Empire. The dawn of Britain had transformed a wild wilderness into a landscape of vibrant, thriving cultures. From the silent mystery of Stonehenge to the bustling mud villages, a unique society had truly blossomed. But the era of isolated tribal kingdoms and independent chieftains was drawing to a dramatic close. The island stood on the precipice of a massive invasion that would rewrite its history forever. The Roman eagles would soon return to conquer the land and clash with its fiercest warriors. The stage was now set for a brutal conflict between ancient iron and imperial conquest. Next week on our channel, the true storm arrives as we enter an era of blood, iron, and empire. We will witness the full-scale Roman invasion under Emperor Claudius and the rise of the early city of Londinium. Get ready for the brutal, historic rebellion of Queen Boudica as she unites the tribes against the power of Rome. You will not want to miss the clash between a vengeful Celtic queen and the heavily disciplined imperial legions. If you enjoyed this animated journey through prehistory, hit that like button right now to show your support. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, Stickman Chronicles, so you're first in line when the next episode drops. Thank you for watching, keep exploring the past, and we will see you right here next week for the ultimate showdown.